All right, this one last thing here.
Mailbag question of the day?
Mailbag question of the day. I have been, I'm revamping how we do mailbag stuff, and I think I'm just going to do one fan question per day.
I think that's good.
To kind of wrap up the show. This one, it's from like, I don't know, 12 days ago. 7, 8, I don't know. It's from Jeff P. Do you guys think Denver Barkey could be in the 2024 mix? Small, but had a great third year in juniors. Small is an understatement.
Yeah.
This dude is like Kelly size. Like, you could pick this dude up and throw him. I'm pretty sure.
I think I have been told by people,
pounds.
in the Flyers organization, by no less than 4, either on the record or off the record, over the last year about Denver Barkey. In some way or another, he looks like he's 12.
He looks like a small child.
Yes.
I think we know the answer to this one. Like, next year for Denver Barkey, I mean, chemistry's a hell of a thing, but I wouldn't recommend that for him. Next year for Denver Barkey, I seriously doubt it. But I do want to talk a little bit about how this team might look somewhat different. I mean, we know the goalie situation.
Right.
That's going to be what it is. And I guess Fedotov and Ersson is a big change from Hart Ersson, with Hart getting like 2/3 of the starts.
And Ersson wasn't even a lot going into that.
No.
I think we thought it was likely, but he had to beat out Sandstrom and Peterson.
Yeah.
And Peterson. In camp last year.
But we talked about the D-men who might have a shot. Ronnie Adderds in the Zamula situation, where he's not he's not waiver exempt anymore. Him, Ginning, and
Andre.
Emil Andre,
their top prospect down there.
Those guys could be in the mix on defense. They said Tuamala, probably another year away.
Yeah.
Maybe we see him earlier than next season, but okay, not going to be here to start most likely. I kind of feel like outside of the goaltending position, they're running it back.
Yeah, besides the subtractions that we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, I think Atkinson's gone. Mm-hmm. Then the question is, do they make any big hockey trades? We talked about the possibility of Joel Farabee.
The Farabee one.
Farabee could be a guy who, if they make a big move, maybe he's the guy they're more willing to, give up in a player for player deal. There's always going to be chatter around Scott Lawton, of course. If this is when someone steps up and makes the kind of offer the Flyers deem to be worthy of giving up that guy. There's always going to be talk about Ristolainen as well. I know the injury probably makes him less attractive to teams, but I'm sure they had conversations in the lead up to the deadline for teams who want a guy like Rist.
Hey, if not now, value. How about in a couple of months? Yeah. Something like that.
Which could change the complexion of the defense. I would not be shocked if they make maybe an ad or two. They might maybe add another defenseman in the vein of Mark Stahl, where he's a vet who can help some of the kids. They very much like the impact they thought that Stahl had in the room on guys like Zamula and York. They might want to bring in another guy like that.
Good.
I think if they trade Lawton, they will absolutely probably look to in some way get another center. Yeah. Because I think I'm getting the sense that while they believe that Noah Cates can play center, they think he's better at wing, which I think they're right. And if that's the case, if you trade Lawton, suddenly you have Couturier, Frost, and Paling. You need another center. Yeah. So I wouldn't be shocked if they go out and maybe they sign and I haven't dove into the free agency pool, but sign like a Hathaway type, to be like that type of, sub $3 million a year. Maybe they can pick up a center that somebody's trying to trade away because they're trying to clear up cap space. You pick him up and then suddenly he's your 3C for a year. I would not be shocked if they go that route, especially if Lawton is ultimately traded. And I don't think it's I don't know if I would bet on Lawton being traded, but I certainly don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
I think Lawton and Risto are the two most likely trade candidates. Farabee would be interesting. I'm not saying I want it or don't. It's just like when Danny says we're not ready to give up on young assets, I'm like, well, yeah, but what is the player for player trade then that benefits the Flyers?
I mean, you're getting another youngish player.
Yeah, if he's part of the package for Trevor Zegras, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that happens this summer. I'm not expecting Farabee to be traded. It could happen, but I'm somewhat expecting at least one of Lawton and Risto out of here.
Okay.
When a guy like Friedman starts talking about things, though, it makes me think that there's a little bit of hey, just so you know, if you want to make a call on this guy.
I think that's exactly what it is that, Friedman talks to people in the organization, and if Danny Briere wants to get it out there, that hey, if you like Joel Farabee, we ain't gonna slam the phone if you call me about him. That doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna get moved. Yeah. Scott Lawton was very much available last summer. Morgan Frost was very much available last summer. Both those guys came back, but I do think that based on who has been reporting the Farabee stuff, that strikes me as an intentional leak to let other teams know that, if you're interested in this guy, we're listening. We're not giving him away, but we're listening. Right. Getting back to Denver Barkey for a second, though, I cannot envision a scenario where he makes his team out of camp. No. I think they believe what they would love for Barkey is for him to have another huge year in the OHL, make the World Juniors team, kill it there, and then enter camp in 2025 with some serious career momentum when he turns pro. I don't know if he would be ready right off the bat even then, but I think he would have a much better chance physically to be ready than he is now. Yeah,
as a noted enjoyer of the small hockey players, I would not want someone that small making my hockey. It would just be terrible for him.
He's always going to be small, though.
Yeah, but not
he
this
needs
small.
to be a little bit more.
Yes, he needs snacks in the weight room.
He needs some snacks.
And
get this guy some snacks.
Right, exactly. He's like you said, he looks like he's a child. He's entirely too small to play in the NHL.
He's listed on Elite Prospects 5'9", 154. I mean, I don't know how updated that is, but it's probably from his draft day. It's probably combine-ish stats.
154 is not very big.
I also wouldn't bet on Oliver Bonk making the team out of camp next year.
That seems unlikely also.
I know some people are convincing themselves that could happen. It would take a monster camp from Oliver Bonk to convince them. I think they are very much planning for him to spend one more year in junior.
Let's just let those two be on the Mitchkov timeline.
And just to, Barkey doesn't turn 19 for 4 more days, so he's not AHL eligible either.
No, he's definitely not AHL eligible. I mean, he's young. He was young for his draft.
Exactly. He's not 19 yet. Yeah. So we're going to have to wait on these guys. I hate waiting, but it is what it is. This is a rebuild. It's what we have to do.
We all silly like the mayor.